Hi everyone, it is Suki. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I'm back. I'm feeling a bit nervous to film again. If you can't tell, I took a little break from YouTube. As you know, it is very common for a content creator to experience burnout, and that's how I felt in the past 3 months, I think. I was just really overwhelmed with trying to figure out my life, my career, finishing my master's, and also having to juggle YouTube was a challenge. I didn't want to just make videos for the sake of making videos and sacrificing the quality of the video. It's been so long that I am nearly graduating from LSE, and I feel like it wouldn't be right if I don't make a video reflecting on my LSE experience and just giving some tips to people that might be joining LSE from my own experience. Just some things that I wish I knew earlier if I had to start this experience all over again, and giving you some good information and advice. If you're new here, I am currently doing a master's at the LSE pursuing media and communication. I have changed from global media and communication to media and communication. I think first thing I want to point out is I didn't realize that that would affect my visa. I was really naive. I didn't really research too much into it. I thought since the changing degree process was so easy, it was just emailing my head of department and he approved and just done. So I just thought it really doesn't affect anything else but just the title of my degree. But then it turns out if you're doing a 2-year master's degree, which is the global media and communication, that provides you opportunity to go to LA, Fudan, South Africa for your second year, you will not be able to get the graduate route visa after you graduate your first year, if that makes sense. So for me, I was planning to apply for the graduate route visa. I wanted to stay in London after I graduate from LSE, and it turns out I can't. So now I have to find a job and an employer that can give me a skilled worker visa for me to stay. That happened, and it was a very stressful few weeks. That is also the reason why I stopped uploading, because I had to do really treacherous admin stuff and I was just stressing myself out the whole time. Another advice I want to give to soon-to-be LSE student, or I feel like any university, is take advantage of the formatives. Do it, try your best to do it, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. Because in my first term, which LSE called Michaelmas term, I did all my formative because I feel like, you know what, it's not gonna count in my final grade. It will be stupid not to do it because it's just like testing the water, understanding how the marking system is for this university. And then for the second term, which LSE calls Lent term, I didn't do any of my formative. First, because I was kind of lazy, and second, I had my dissertation, which I was really putting more of the work into. But then I feel like not doing the formative didn't actually put me into a disadvantage. Obviously, doing the formative would have given me a better perspective on what I would get in that specific module. I don't know what I got for my Lent term modules yet, so I don't know if not doing the formative is a bad idea. But from my gut feeling, I feel like it's not the end of the world if you don't do it. So if all your friends do it and you feel like you didn't do it, it is not the end of the world. But if you can, try and do it. I think the second advice, or like things I wish I knew, actually no, this is more like an advice. I enjoyed my time at LSE a lot because of joining rugby. I think that is where my circle of friends kind of start building from. I had been struggling to meet course mates that I really click well with, mainly because I only see them in specific time during the day, and it depends on which module I take. So most of the time I see the same people quite rarely because I take different modules. So I see new people a lot of time. It's just not enough to build a connection, and when you're in the class, you don't really try and like get to know each other, right? You talk about academic stuff. But then I feel like when you're in a society in a more casual environment, like when I was doing rugby, we can chat about everything, we can just really know each other. And I went to tour with the girls, went to Croatia. I had such a fun time. One of the girls will be living with me this summer for a bit, and which is amazing because just being able to make friends that you can like continue having the friendship even after your studies is very valuable. And I think it's really hard to achieve only through knowing course mate. You have to really branch out and maybe join society or go to departmental social events. That is a space where you can actually talk about casual chats and not just academic chats. But then I still struggle. I go to a few socials for my department. I went there, you know, I still talk to people, but it just doesn't it just doesn't click to me that well compared to when I was training with the girls and just like playing rugby with the girls. Really take advantage of office hour. The best decision I've made studying at the LSE is be the first person to just sign up for office hour, especially with your dissertation supervisor. I think that is compulsory, but sign up for more than you are required. You got nothing to lose if you spend like office hours are normally just 15 minutes long, and I feel like you never lose anything by just sacrificing 15 minutes of your day. It could be on Zoom, you don't even need to leave the house to just talk about your thoughts on this specific essay or whatever you need help in, or just have a nice academic chat with your supervisor or your professor that's really knowledgeable. It would help you in some way or the other, and I think it's always a 15-minute time well spent, and I never regret going to an office hour. I always feel so accomplished when I go to an office hour because most of the time you need to put yourself out there, you need to sign up. Not every student does it, but when you have the facility and resources, just do it because you paid for this. Talking about resources, sign up to the newsletter. So LSE Career, LSE SU newsletter, LSE Departmental newsletter. It's only through the newsletter you know what resources there are, you know what public talks there are, you know what events they're gonna host. Sometimes you get email directly if it's like a really specific event tailored to your department, but sometimes you really need to just make sure to update yourself weekly on what's happening at your uni, and it is the easiest when you have signed up to newsletters yourself, so it just floats into your inbox like every week, and you can have a quick scroll through and see what event there is. So for example, like recently there's like the LSE Wellbeing Week where there's a lot of free events like free yoga, free meditation session, free arts and craft, and these stuff I wouldn't have known if I didn't sign up for the newsletter. And also follow your university on social media. That's how you can keep up to date and really take advantage of all the events happening on campus at your uni. As I said, you paid for this, and it's even the worst when you don't even know what's happening in the first place, and you could have had the control to be aware and alert of what's happening. The hardest thing for me to adapt to when studying at the LSE was really just the price of living in London. Compared to Sheffield, London is a very, very expensive city to live in. I really liked my decision of doing my undergrad in a cheaper city because that's 3 years long, and going to London to do my master's. Because the thing about doing master's in London, that's when you have to get off the academic journey unless you're pursuing a PhD. But after master's is when you either have to start a job or take a gap year, which I don't really want to do personally. And when I have to start looking for a job, a lot of big companies' headquarters is based in London. I feel like if you really have a big career goal, you inevitably very likely will have to relocate to London because that's the central hub of businesses and opportunity. So like the last academic year you have, I think doing it in London is not a bad idea. Obviously, I am not an expert. This is obviously all my own experiences, so please take all my work with a pinch of salt. But from my experience, I feel like doing my master's in London is great because now my ideal jobs are all based in London, which is perfect because I've already kind of settled in London being here for a year. I know how the tube works, I know how the buses work, I know a cheaper way to get to A to B, like just small stuff like that. I get more comfortable in traveling at night because I know a safer option to do that. And it's really hard for you to adapt to work and also adapt to the city at the same time. I also wanted to kind of share my favorite study spots with you guys that I've kind of encountered throughout my one short year in LSE. I think my to-go study spot is 32 Lincoln's Inn Field. It is a spot that is not that popular. Since our campus is so small, it is kind of in the center of the campus. I feel like it's just a bit underrated, which is good because there's a nice cafe there and there are good seats there, and you normally can find seats there because not a lot of people go there. People normally go to the library, obviously, and also the center building is quite busy. But I really do like studying in the center building because there's better light compared to the 32 Lincoln's Inn Field. And I think another place that I like to study is near King's Cross. I recommend the Welcome Collection. It is a really good like study space museum and it's free for everyone. You just need to book it beforehand. So I think all in all, I am really happy that I chose to pursue the Media and Communication degree at the LSE. And if I knew earlier, I would have just applied for the 1-year master's degree. Choosing to do a 2-year degree was a bit of a a bit of a risk, and I didn't see that before. So in hindsight, I would have just chosen that 1-year degree, which would have just mitigated a lot of problems I'm facing right now, especially through my visa. Don't really have much bad things to say about LSE, apart from just the fact that I did not make that many. Okay, I did make really good friends, but not that many. And that is really like my responsibility to make friends. Everyone is friendly in LSE. I just didn't put myself out there as much, and I just think I didn't have enough time to do that compared to when I was in Sheffield. I was there for 3 years, and I still go back to Sheffield quite frequently because A, my boyfriend is there, and B, all my amazing friends are also up there, and I do have a really strong bond with my Sheffield friends. Yeah, I just don't know. I think LSE is a really academically, rigorously, like challenging environment that just pushes you to be better, and their faculty is just world-class level. Like my supervisor is a person that I used to read research papers about when I was doing my undergrad, which was a bit like crazy. Like, wow, like he's literally guiding my dissertation when I used to read about his research when I was doing my undergrad. So things like that just makes LSE quite a remarkable university, and you know, it's quite big in terms of the ranking, so it's not surprising how they have world-class faculty. That is basically my reflection on my short year of doing a master's program. I definitely have gained a lot of knowledge through this one short year. I think I have gained as much knowledge in this 1 year than my 3-year undergrad, which shows how intense LSE is to some extent. It is intense to a level where I experienced my first like living in the library basically for a few days straight, which I never really experienced in undergrad because everything is a bit relaxed, but LSE is a bit like you gotta push yourself a bit. I hope you find this video helpful, and let me know what you want to see from me next. I think I want to start vlogging a bit more, but I just want to do this video, like a nice short chit chat. I don't know if it's short, but nice like chit chat sit down video to just slowly like meander my way through this YouTube world again. Thank you for just still sticking around when I'm sometimes a bit difficult and just don't really upload as often as I want to, but I'm really trying my best here, and I am incredibly grateful for all of you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon, maybe next week. Bye.